this week I made 5%, and let me show you what we saw last week, right? So let's get into it. So the very first trade I took, and of course I posted it here on YouTube. If I go over to YouTube posts, if I go over to the YouTube post, you can see that I actually posted this trade here. I posted this trade here, Euro NZU, when I wanted to enter, right? So yeah, this is the same trade. This is the same trade right here. So I simply was waiting for a break and retest above this area to enter on the 1 hour time frame. As you can see, we had the break and retest and the engulfing to enter this trade. I entered this trade on the 30 minutes time frame, and this trade took a lot of time, right? This trade took about the full week to actually play out, but you see that it actually played out for about a 1:2 risk reward ratio eventually, right? So that is the very first pair I took, risk 2% to get 4%, right? Then the second trade was NZD JPY that I took, right? So I took NZD JPY as my second pair for last week, and pretty much price basically almost took me out. Price basically almost took me out about almost 5-7 times, right? But of course, this video I taught exactly how to avoid weak outs, right? Because I'm not trying to get weak out. If I'm losing the trade, let me be losing the trade in full and not just get weak out, right? So from that video, right, go watch the video. I explained how to avoid this kind of weak out, and because of this weak out strategy, I was able to avoid this multiple week out that were supposed to take me out, instead of me losing 1% last week, because I decided to reduce my risks to 1%, and I explained why, right? Because the first pair I was in had JPY, and basically they are going to move inversely. So if one hits SL, then the other one is likely to hit the SL too as well. So that is why I decided to risk 1% on NZD JPY. So this right here was the trade, and then the trade went to drawdown. Most of the time it was in drawdown, and then we finally were in profit. But it was Friday, so I didn't really necessarily have to hold throughout the weekend because of swap, spread, and commissions and all those things. Then I just decided to close here for about a 1:1 risk reward ratio. So I risked 1% to get another 1%. That is leaving me at extra 1% for the week. So that is 4% on NZD, Euro NZD, and then 1% here on NZD JPY. Right, so those were the two pairs I took this week. But we analyzed a couple of pairs last week, right? And let me see how they played out. So the next pair that we have here is GBP right? So GBP you can see from the part I drew last week, we're expecting to buy this market, and as you can see right here, price gave us the entry signal. I wasn't paying attention to this market at the time. Then your stop loss is supposed to be below this structure point right here, and then as you can see clearly, price went and gave us more than a 1:2, even giving us a 1:3 risk to reward ratio. That is that for GBP Next pair, Euro AUD. Now Euro AUD, I was paying more attention here on the 4-hour time frame. I was simply waiting for a clean enough break and retest under this area to sell this market, right? So I was planning on selling this market last week, but last week price did not really have this break and retest, and I think Alex G actually avoided this loss too as well, because this loss, since he didn't have the break and retest, there was no reason for us to take the trade. So I'll put a video up on how he explained how to avoid this loss.
I just avoided 2 losses by literally being patient and just sitting on my hands. Here was a beautiful left head, right shoulder. Price retested this neckline. Beautiful daily doji rejection from the EMA and the structure point. And I go down to the 4-hour. I see a little small head and shoulders at this area. I was waiting for the break and retest to then sell. Avoided this loss to perfection. Like, this is literally a trade that I would have lost easily 6 months ago by just entering the trade here, but waiting for this break and retest made me avoid this loss. The name of the game is patience and high probability trades.
So basically, we are waiting for price to shift structure, and it never happened, so we never really took that trade. Euro USD, another pair we are paying attention to last week, we are looking to buy, right? So we are waiting for a break and retest here to buy, so we pretty much bought. I know people who actually took Euro USD, right? I didn't really take Euro USD. Some people took Euro USD from here, and they closed their profits, right? So another pair we have CAD JPY last week. So we're waiting for a break and retest under above here to buy at the time, right? So at the time we're waiting for break and retest here to buy. So we had a break, and at the retest we didn't get the engulfing until price shifted structural bearish. So there was no reason to take the trade anymore. Price is already under area of interest. EMA is already below above price. There was no reason to actually buy that market at the time, right? Then last pair for the week, I was looking to sell this market, so I was waiting for a cleaner break and retest under this level to sell. We kind of looked like we broke, but it was not clean enough for me, right? So I didn't really have to take that trade that week, right? So that's pretty much the pairs that we analyzed and took last week. Remember, we do this thing every Sunday, right? We analyze every pair that we're willing to take for the week, and then next week I come back and tell you how the pairs played out, right? So that's pretty much it for this week, and I'm going to be analyzing over 20 pairs again for this new week, right? I use this trade to come out of drawdown and actually add more profit in my trading. So that brings me to the concept of 10 trades. I'm going to be creating that video, right? Very important. That's why I was not really scared of losing. I was still following the system, the plan, everything, right? So the concept of 10 trades is actually by these DAX, and I'll explain what the concept is in a coming video. Then now, another video is also coming, how to properly draw area of interest. It's very important to also know where price is likely to react from in order for you to take your trades, right? So before all those videos comes out, I'm going to like analyze all the 20 pairs again, then tell you the best pairs I'm willing to pay attention to this new week, right? So we can make money together. So that's pretty much it for the trade recap, and I hope you make money next week.